There we go. Let's see if it wanna work. Of course, wait. We need the other camera. There we go. Let's see here. It's recording on my LG V20, which of course on my new LG V20. Which actually it seems to have gotten a totally new LG V20 in the package and all that. Very interesting that was even possible. It is the DS version. It's not that dark on the thing. Of course, you know, I'm still trying to take off my power and all that. I haven't really gotten to it yet, but moving forward, so it's not that much light. So talked with the Shift guys yesterday, and they wanted me to take down my my video because they thought it was unfair and that I was lying. I don't think I was lying, but anyway, there's no reason why I would even lie. Why would I lie? You know. In any case, so it's ended up that if I didn't take it down, they wouldn't send me a new screen for free. And I do wonder in regards to this, you know, you have a mobile. I got the mobile, the Shift M. Here we go, the Shift 6MQ, right? And the screen broke around a week after getting it, like with a small minor drop. The first drop that it ever dropped, which was a really minor drop because I was sitting on the toilet. So there's not really any, you know, but anyway, reaching out like I do with the other phone in regards to just reaching out for, we have problems in regards of, I should have put a new battery in it. Oh, my bad. That's not good. That's not good. Maybe we can get a little juice with this. But that was my mistake. I should have. And by the way, this is one of the things that annoys me actually with the LG V20. That it comes out and say, hey, you have 15% and all that, but I guess it's better than to actually have a thing, you know, a blinking device, blinking. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I don't know if it will keep up in regards to the battery because I've only fixed it to the computer, and that's. Do I have a charger? I actually do have a charger over here. But we don't have the reach for this. Let's see, yeah. Let's see if we can get it a little. There we go. Well, apparently has some things in regards to connecting and not connecting, ready to use and whatnot. Let's put it in there. There we go. I'll just put it over here. Or maybe over here. That's was okay. So at least we got some juice into it from the original charger, so that's great. Anyway, so I get this phone, which I had hoped for would actually be a replacement for my LG V20, and hopefully, you know, it could have been nice. You know, a lot of people using the LG V20 was looking for a replacement of the LG V20. Because the LG V20 is, in my book and many others out there, still the best mobile there is. The LG V20 is, I think, around 5 years old or so. But it has the three necessaries, pretty much. It has, or the essentials, the three essentials. It has micro SD card for more storage. It has the jack stick. And it has changeable battery, so you can just charge a battery, flip it in there and all that, and you're on the go again. And you also, with the LG V20, you actually had cradle chargers, which I have one over there, but I don't have it at the moment here. I do have the print. It's like a little print like this, and it's not really much, but this is just wonderful. This is like, I have, you know, this is something that every phone that can change batteries should have. So you can just charge your batteries. It doesn't matter how quick it actually goes because, you know, you're using your phone and you have another battery in the thing. But that's the print, the small print. I'll just fix the the cradle. So here, the LG cradle, I got a new one as well on that one. Very nice. Although, this is the cradle they had, although it was, usually in the time past you could actually get the two for the same price. So this was a little more expensive than it was in the days. Although I think it was worth it to actually have something that just... Because the other twos began to have a little issues. They were still usable, but they still had some problems. So got a new one at least. And I should also have some batteries on the way, although I haven't seen those yet. But that was also pretty hard to track down. But if I can get everything up and rolling with my, the LG V20 pretty much, the new one I've gotten, I can get back to some sanity, even if it has its own issues. And it's not that powerful a phone anymore. And it can heat up if you're actually recording, and of course the cameras are not the new state of the art and all that. But it's still, in my book, and it's still the undefeated mobile on the top, Sadly, very sad. It's the last flag model that anyone made with the three essentials in regards of replaceable battery, micro SD, and jack stick. So, one of the reasons why I had to find another mobile was that my LG V20, it also has the ghosting, it has a lot of issues, so I was pretty harsh on the review in some sense of this mobile. I would give it, maybe 1 or 2 stars, and I was actually pretty close to just 1 star out of 10, which, because there's place to so much improvement. And yet it's the best mobile that is out there. If they don't have the 3 essentials, it's just for the dumpster, I'm not going to have a phone where you can't change battery. No jack stick, I'll give me a break, No micro SD, I'll give me a break. The one thing that was sadly with the LG V20 is that it only has 64 gigabytes. 64 gigabytes internal space. When you are, by Android and Google forced to use the internal space, and if you actually have books that you want to have access to all the time, and where you can just take the memory stick out, which is also another problem with this Android nonsense. Sometimes when you plug it into the computer, you have problems in regards to transferring files, and it's much better, pretty much, just to take the memory stick out and put it in the computer and then do your transferring things, because then you can do multiple things. Apparently when it's still in the Android now, you can't do multiple things, and there's issues and all that, and slowness of speed, and lots of issues where I'm like, these issues shouldn't even be there in the first place. So it's not, when I'm saying that the LG V20 is still the best mobile out there, I'm still not giving it much of a grade for my, I think I got it down to 1 star when I was thinking about it. You don't have root out of the package. You don't have administrator rights. They're jailing you in. You have some insanity like the pop-up and all that. Who cares about the pop-up? You have these automatical things also when you use the camera app. If you use the original camera app, it will just jump out of the camera app automatically while you're recording like this. So you have to have another application like this one that I'm using now to actually be able to record longer without it just jumping out of the camera application. That's bullshit. That's utterly bullshit. I don't know if it's all versions in regards of Android 7 and Android 8. They had the Android 7 and Android 8, although there is Android 9 for the LG V20 as well, although not for all versions. Not all versions got the last Android 9, but you could probably toy around with it as always and waste hours and hours. And hey, if you have fun with that and all that, sure thing, I would probably have had fun with it when I didn't have all these other things to do in my life, trying to just get things moving on. But then it could probably be fun, wasting hours and hours and hours and hours trying to sort things out, and one thing after another, and jumping one hoop after another hoop after third hoop, fifth, all these different bullshit things that they have put up, so we can't do what we actually want with the phone. And that's, of course, is one of the biggies that I have, that it settles pretty much, I think, on 1 star, 1 out of 10, and I still would proclaim the LG V20 the best phone. I had hoped, I was looking around, and actually I couldn't really find, I was looking around, I knew that my LG V20 was on its last breath. It had been on its last breath for a long time. And just for people that don't understand that, I'm not talking about my phone breathing as a, I'm using terminology, things, to express, because apparently the shift guys didn't understand when I said, if you just, if you just blow on the phone, it breaks, or if you just push it, it breaks, okay? It was in regards of the context of the screen breaking so easily, okay? I have very few drops with the Shift MQ. The first screen the first screen just died at the first small drop, minor drop, and it's like 20 centimeters at the maximum or something like that. I'm reaching out, from the toilet throne to the floor, and the last bit, it just, bang! Apparently the screen just, and I didn't really, when it dropped, I really didn't think anything about it. It's like, it's just a minor drop, of course it can handle that, right? And then I turned it around, and then, this broke. Or when I looked at it. In any case, so that was the first drop, right? It just died. So send it back. Anyway, we're getting a little off in regards to the LG V20. So the LG V20, I knew it was on its dying days. It was very sad. So I was looking into what way to go. I was seeking to actually get a Librem phone, because that's a Linux phone. But they have really jumped up the thing around, oh yeah, the Librem phone and all that. The hype was just amazing, right? And you had all these applications, Librem Social and Librem Chat, I think it's called, and they had 2 more, I think, in regards of Librem Email. I never used that, but anyway, so we connect on Librem Social and Librem Chat with all these other people that are interested in free phones and all that, and freedom and all that, and it sadly just failed utterly, because the Librem Social, I found out that they actually had closed one of the features and didn't let the user decide if the user wanted to use the feature in regards of opening up the network for other servers, and I felt like that's bullshit. The Librem Chat has issues in regards of being Matrix, and Matrix have a way of becoming very slow, and the same happened with Librem Chat, where they were trying to upgrade things and all that, but it ruined so much, when people can see, this is hogwash, it's bullshit, it's nonsense, and people began to leave, and then of course another thing that annoyed me was all the emails from Librem, which wasn't easy to just say, hey, I don't want those emails anymore. Every single month, a new email ticking in. And then, of course, that they pretty much had hyped this thing, kind of seemingly deceiving people in some sense, I don't know what they want to call it, but, it was absolutely not finished when it came out, and it was like, little, but, and it's just like, okay, it's a product, right, but it's far from anything that anyone really can use, So the hype was just, it was just sad to see how it just crumbled totally. Still, that's sad, but still working on things and all that. So hopefully they will just continue. And but it was just sad, very sad. Anyway, then we have the Pinephone. That was another. And by the way, the Librem phone, as far as I remember, only had, well, they only had 32 gigabytes, I think, internally. I'm going by memory here, but it still had the three the three essentials. It still had the micro SD card that you could put in. It still had the jack phone stick, and it still had a replaceable battery. That was the three essentials. Again, I'm not going to look on a phone that doesn't have those. If they don't have those, it's for the trash. Except maybe in regards of just a minor thing. I just looked at the Fairphone 4, but it does seem to be actually able to change the battery, and you can fix a micro SD card, but it doesn't have a jack stick, which I don't know why they would take that out. But as I understand it, but I haven't tried this out, but as I understand it, there is a possibility of actually using a jack and putting it in the USB-C thing. Of course, that would, still, if you would make that work, you can't charge the phone if you're doing that, right? So that would mean that you absolutely, I think, should have the option for charging batteries outside the mobile, so you can just flip the things and all that. Then it wouldn't be a huge problem, in regards to that. So I don't know in regards of outside chargers and those batteries and all that. And of course I've just fixed this off. Let's see, put this in. I have this other battery charger that I've got, which is, let's see here if we can, which seems to do something, right? This is the charger that I found. I don't know if there's other chargers out there. I could, look further and all that. But this was at least one of them I could find. And it does seem to charge the battery, but in regards to the LG V20, it does only seem to come about 90%. Now, of course, it's better than nothing, of course, that you actually can charge your battery outside. It was primarily in regards of the Shift phone, because, that was the one that that's got charging problems as well with that, but that's going to get to that, of course. So trying to see if I can keep it like but yeah, this was the one I got that a couple of days ago. I'm still testing it. It seems like it's charging around the battery to around 90%, and then it stops, so it's not perfect, but it's absolutely better than nothing, and if you have bigger batteries, if you could actually get bigger batteries for the LG V20, for example, which I have ordered, I don't know if I'm going to get them. I need to, I guess, also check in regards if there's any information on it. Maybe they've, I don't know. And sometimes you get a package and they don't really tell you that the package is there, and then they send it back, right? I tried that. But in any case, if you have a bigger battery and it doesn't charge to 100%, it's okay, right? It's not a biggie, so of course it's less of a, or it's a bigger issue when you have smaller batteries, but because they die out quicker, But any case, so I'm still testing that. I have a battery here that is so-called fully charged compared to that charger. And again, in regards to the LG V20, I still have this box, which I got a new version of. Again, it was not easy to find, but they do still have some of them, some of the places, so it should be able to. But yeah, it's it's like double the price of what they cost in the past. But I guess they're not producing them anymore and all that. So, but this can charge the LG V20 batteries. And you can actually just take the lid off. I pretty much did that with the other two I had. But yeah, so you can easily drop bigger batteries in it as well without any problem. And it's just a small box. Really, the only digital thing that is in the box is sitting up here. Oh, yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just a small, as I showed you, it's just a small print, really. This is all it is. this is all it is. It's just minor, minor thing. And this was the, you don't need quick chargers. You just need a little small print to charge the batteries. You don't need this, quick charging this, quick charging that. That also gives issues, and then you have different results with different things, with different chargers, with different cables and all that, and different devices. It's a mess. It's one of these, messes where I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But this works, and this has always worked, But no, we don't want to go that direction. We want to go away with that direction because they're full of bullshit. Because they want to talk green and this and that, and yet they're designing mobiles to, not last, and design absolution. Decide them not to repair them and just moving from one mobile to the next. They released the mobile. They're already going ahead with the next one, and they don't even care about it's just so quickly, these days. Oh, buy a new phone, buy a new phone, buy a new phone, buy a new phone. Oh, your battery died. Oh, so bad. Buy a new phone, right? It's not going to I'm not going to pay for a phone where you can't change battery. I did have, although I did have one in the past. I've had one in regards to that. You could still change the battery, but you needed to have some tools. But that was a Nokia, the N8 Nokia. But anyway, that's the only phone which I really haven't. Any case, that was because I got it from a friend, so I got it pretty cheap as far as I recall. So anyway, so you can charge these, you just put them in here, right? You have the battery, put it in. Again, sadly, the LG V20's batteries are just too small. I think, again, usually mobiles design batteries too small in regards of size. I don't know, how hard can it be to make multiple sizes of batteries, at least for the models, that way you can change batteries, Is that so hard, if the women have too much problems of the weight, then design so you can have a small version and a big version, Like, I had, this is too big, this is my, zombie mobile or whatever, Frankenstein mobile. Pretty much put together by 3 different things and all that. But anyway, it has a battery that is way too big. It's 10,500, and then it has like some kind of plastic around it. It's way too heavy. Sorry about the lightning. I don't have any. And I'm trying to not live with the light at the moment, and of course I need to. Any case, this is a big battery. Let's just take it out. This is a big battery from Fairphone, and it's 10,500. It's way too heavy, way too big. That's. But anyway, tried it out. At least the phone doesn't just go out. Also, another problem is that it has problems in regards to the volume, in regards to the plastic. Apparently, which is interesting because I tried the 6,400 and it didn't have a problem with. Turning up and down the volume and all that, but apparently the 10,500 has a problem, which again I don't know. You need to push it a little further up and a little, whatever. The good thing when you have a bigger battery, which is also one of these bullshit things that many companies do, is that it protects the camera lens or the glass, which usually is one of the things that gets scratches and all that. Is that too hard to do? If they just made, if many of the models just made the battery a little further, they could hide the camera so it doesn't stick out of the mobile. It's like, hey, am I the only thinking person here, Apparently it seems like I'm the only thinking person here, So when you get a bigger battery like the 6,400, which by the way in my hand is perfect, 6,400 milliamps for the LG V20 from Fairphone was absolutely perfect. Not too heavy and not too light. Just perfect and nice in the hand. This just feels a little too big, too heavy and all that in regards to 10,500. 6400 was nice. It didn't have this extra plastic cover around it either, so that might also have taken out of some of the weight. But yeah, this is too heavy, too and too big. But it still have this extra protection, protecting the camera, because if if it lands, it's the plastic that is going to be hit, or you have to have a pretty a stone or something like that to go into that place and hit it. But it gives some extra protection. I have no idea why these bullshitters making these mobiles are making it like stick out. Let's see in regards to the shift. The shift it does stick out a little, but it's nearly narrowed from when you have the plastic cover on, at least. It sticks a little out, but yeah, I just don't understand you. If it's just a little bit more, it wouldn't touch the glass, But apparently, again, people can't think anymore, or maybe they are doing what they do on purpose. So you go out and buy a new phone again, Anyway, so you can, in regards to the LG cradle here, you just put it in there and you close it and you just put it in a charger, and it charges the battery. It doesn't matter how long it nearly takes, It doesn't matter, because you're using the phone while you're doing this. So as long as this is full when you have emptied your phone, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to have quick charge or whatever and all that. It just matters that it's charging, Which also some say is actually making batteries last longer. So if we're going to talk about having batteries lasting longer, that might be also a thing. But the thing is, this world is full of bullshit, and that's just how it is, sadly. Anyway, so I guess that was a little in regards to the LG V20. So we are, there's a lot of people out there in regards to the LG V20 that have been looking for a mobile to replace the LG V20, but there's just nothing around. In 5 years or so, maybe even more. I'm not entirely sure when the LG V20 came out, but around 5 years. Around 5 years, there hasn't been a mobile that could replace the LG V20. Not a single company pretty much have made one. And people looking around, and I looking around, like looking at the Librem phone, although only 32 gigabytes internal as far as I recall, but if it had been able to call and all that, I would still, but have been able to, willing to try it out, to get away from all this insane Google nonsense, closing down our features, and the problem also with the LG V20, when you root it, you get into all this sickness, and pretty much every single Android system I've rooted, you get into issues. It just opens the door for more issues. The LG V20 seems to have a problem where it becomes slower. But you can pretty much hit into every kind of different nonsense issues. It's just incredible how many different issues. It's like it becomes like a woman, totally emotional, going in every single direction. It's not like just one thing breaking and then it's broke all the time. No, it's just different things and this and that, and then it needs to restart and all that. That's pretty much mostly the Shift M6MQ I had needing to restart it all the time. That was it's just incredible. Then something didn't work, and then something else didn't work, and then whatever and all that. And you just needed to restart the phone, and then it would maybe work. Well, you would need to restart it again. Again, nonsense, absolutely nonsense. But anyway, so that was a little of the LG V20, and of course the ghosting. The LG V20 had ghosting. It doesn't take, or it took around a year for most people, I guess, but it could take less than a year, and then the ghosting would start on the screen. And it's like, it's bullshit, but you can live with it. You can live with it. I ended up living with the ghosting. I was like, okay, you can still use the phone. even with the ghosting. I guess you can see it as a special effect or something like that. You know, it's bearable. I remember when it began to do that, and LG was there. They didn't really care about it. They didn't seem like it was a problem. Like, you're paying what? How many? You paid a lot for the phone, and they don't care. Oh, that's no problem. It's just normal. Which of course is absolutely nonsense. But that's the way companies do. And in any case, you can live with the ghosting. And I did. But then after around 3 years or so, the screen, the top screen the glue began to unglue. So the top screen began to detach. So, and I held it down with some tape and all that, but the screen was fine. The screen was absolutely fine, no problem in regards of it. It pretty much looked like a new one. Although I can feel like this new LG V20, it does feel smoother. I don't know if they have like some coating on top of it or something like that. But in regards of scratches and all that, no, it looked like new. You could see it had dropped in the plastic around it and all that. But the screen was absolutely just no problem. And I had dropped that phone for a good amount of time and never breaking it. It has, dropped from, and it was wonderful, no problem at all. I have seen some LG V20s where the screen is smashed. I don't know. I guess if you really, dropped it, outside or something, I guess. But I haven't had a problem. I think I'm been pretty surprised how well it actually have hold up. It's thinking about it, it's pretty nice. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just I can't complain about the screen in regards to that. At least not for the one that I have, and I can only talk from my experience in regards of it, of course. So that has been pretty nice. But the ghosting, this is one of the things where I'm like, bullshit. You don't have ghosting on a screen, You gotta be kidding me. That's just taking it downhill in regards to the stars. You don't have rude. That's just taking it way down in regards to the stars, right? You have some of the insane things here and there, which is like, jumping out of the video thing and all that camera. It's like not having an option to say, no, I want this application to stay up until I say so. That's going down in regards to the stars, and other things, charging the device, it turns on automatically, and then it just doesn't, it starts up with turning on the screen. And that's a problem because, in regards of the fast charging and all that, and of course, that would also promote ghosting if it just had the screen turned on. And anyway, I think it might have helped if I might have fixed the fingerprint finger and all that. Anyway, whatever. But you have some things here and there where you just think this is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense. It's ridiculous. So I can't remember all the things here and there for sure. Because it's I have been the last many months I've been toying around with the Shift 6MQ, and my brain is overfilled with information, and every time I do something new I lose something else. So in any case, so I think I ended up being 1 star out of 10 when I was thinking about how many stars should the LG V20 have, and I went down to 4, and then I think I went down to 2, and I think I actually ended up at a 1. And this is absolutely the best mobile there is on the market, I think, still, sadly, as far as I can see. And I'm now returning to it, so I can get into some, at least a working mobile, because the Shift 6MQ, I have had a lot of issues with that, but we're going to get to that. But sadly, it doesn't seem to be something that can replace. In regards of the cost, it's pretty expensive, and I had a good amount of problems actually getting the resources for it. But anyway, I needed, it's hard to live in society without a phone, and I just can't buy a phone which doesn't have the ability to change the battery. And when I found out that my LG V20 couldn't go on any longer, I tried to get a new one, but they couldn't send because of all the corona nonsense and all that. They couldn't send it to Denmark. So maybe I should have been trying other sellers or something like that. But things were locking down in regards to all this nonsense. And but anyway, so I was like, okay, so if things are locked down and I can't get it from, because the mobile wasn't sold in Europe, it's just sad, very sad. They never sold it in Europe. So you had, I ordered it from Hong Kong to get a phone that I knew I would be pretty much happy with. And I have been pretty happy with it. I'm happy. But it's still bullshit with a lot of the things that Google are doing to things. And of course, in regards of the companies, when, they have a screen that has ghosting, getting ghosting. You gotta be kidding me. You can't. Oh, anyway. And they just think, oh, that's just normal. It's just normal to get ghosting on a screen. Is that where we have come to? That it's okay to accept ghosting on a mobile that you pay how many, resources for? Oh, give me a break, That's bullshit, Never had ghosting on any other mobile in the past, and now it's just acceptable to have ghosting on the mobile, apparently. And this apparently seems to be... anyway, an issue that is also found on other mobiles apparently in our days. In any case, so I looked into what other options is there. I looked into the Librem Fairphone, which was a huge disappointment. I waited for that for a long time to hopefully, set sail away from Android Google. I had made up my mind that I really didn't want to buy another Android phone because I could see where Google were taking things, and Google are utter criminals, so if I can get away from that bullshit, the further the better. But in any case, I looked at the Fairphone 3 and the Shift 6MQ, and I was looking, and I remember the Shift 6MQ had like Android 8 and all that. The specs was pretty big, and I was like, I didn't really need all those big specs that it had. I didn't need 2 cameras really either. But the problem was that the other versions they had was only 64 gigabytes, and I knew from using my LG V20, which has 64 gigabytes, that 64 gigabytes is just not enough. And so, that's been, it's very easy to fill up, and then you need to sort things out, and it's just... So I knew I had to have more than 64 gigabyte. And then of course when Google made it harder to actually use the micro SD card and all that, so I looked into the Fairphone. It only had 64 gigabyte, although there might have been an ability to actually merge the micro SD. I don't know because I haven't tried it. But it seems like the Shift 6MQ had like a kind of a feature that seems to be possible to merge the micro SD with it, although I haven't used it. So I don't know if how that really, but then of course I would think that it would be harder to actually just take it out and put it in the computer and then sort out the files. And of course just connecting a mobile phone into the computer usually doesn't do me so good. Again, you end up with issues where you can, for example, only do one thing at a time, or it's not so quick, and whatever nonsense. Anyway, so it's just mostly easier just to take the micro SD card out, put it in the computer with some kind of thing and a USB thing, or if you have one of the bigger, whatever card, just put it in there and you get higher speed, and you don't get any problems in regards of things. So anyways, I looked on the Fairphone 3, only 64 gigabytes, and they wouldn't upgrade it to 128 apparently. I looked on the Shift phone, and that was only the 6MQ, 128 gigabytes. There was another alternative in regards to the Pinephone, but that was pretty much, you know, a Linux phone like the Librem. But the Pinephone was more like a development thing in regards of people for developing things and fixing things for a Linux phone. But that's still future in regards of it. Apparently my clock is ringing. I'll be right back. So, well, right back here. I should probably put this in a lighter place actually, after taking the power, so at least I can get a little light if I sit on the table, although who knows if... Now, anyway, getting back to it. So that was the Pinephone. And the Pinephone actually did look better than the Librem phone. They seem to have more... they actually seem to make a model that actually was somewhat usable compared to the Librem phone. So that looked actually much better. Now, at the moment now, we have a Pinephone Pro coming out. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't think it's actually, you know, to the ability of actually being a daily use, but at least they seem to also be honest about that. It's not for most people in regards of daily use. I think they seem to have a fair price point as well in regards of it, and it's Linux, so you have root from the beginning. The problem with all this Google, you know, the thing is, Android in the beginning was promoted as a Linux system. Well, it just totally molested Linux system. Oh, it was open and all that. Well, it seems like Google have pretty much chopped so much, you know, they've just ruined so many things. How can it be if it's open that they can just take the, you know, features like recording calls away from the user? And as I understand, there was actually features that was there from the beginning of Android. And as I understand it, some say that they also had the motto in regards of do not be evil. Apparently they removed that motto, but of course they're also pretty evil, you know. Although I don't know if Google still, you know, if Google still was running them from the beginning. I really actually don't know. Did Google run Android from the beginning? I wonder, you know. Did Google run Android from the beginning? I do wonder. But the thing is, they always give us, you know, the good things in the beginning, right? And get us over to things, and then they begin to ruin it. Let's see here. The funny thing is that Google did not make Android, but rather Android Inc. In July 2005, the company was acquired for about 50 million. Okay, so did Google then take Android over at some point? When did Google buy Android? Let's see here. 2005. So what was there before 2005? See, Android under Google's ownership in 2005. Google acquired Android NIC for around $50 million, and the Google mobile division was born. The world watched this event with skepticism and curiosity, and we can now define it as almost historical. I can't remember what was there in what was kind of Android before 2005. That's a long time. I can't even remember if the. Yeah, well, it's a long time. But of course, everything that Google touches pretty much becomes. Well, see, the launch of Android 0.1 in 2007. Well, that seems to actually that Google was there from the beginning, if that's the case. Well, Android 0.1 2008. Okay. Well, they seem to then have been there from pretty much, from the. But the thing is, it was promoted as a Linux, Linux system. Is it ringing again? Are you kidding me? It's ringing again. Oh my. Well, hopefully it will not. Anyway, back. So, whatever the case, as far as I understand it, before I was going on to Android, it was a main feature that you could record calls. It was a thing that was inside Android itself, as far as I know. I didn't use Android at that time, but as far as I recall, there was. And then they removed it, and then they went further because then other people made programs to just take over. And I guess that's, so other people just makes the programs, and so we can do it, right? And then you could see Google also attacking them in the Play Store, features like having the number on the place, on the caller and all that. They removed that. So you had to download the application, the main application I used. I had to download it from outside the Play Store to actually continue to have it as it was. And that's the problem in regards to auto-updating or just updating applications. And then a so-called new feature is, and then the application just works differently than it used to be. Not because of the programmers, but because Google, forced their bullshit on us, and that's just, just disgusting. So Android 9, it became harder to record calls. Android 10, even harder. I don't know in regards to Android 11. I'm just like, if you keep down to Android 8, and sadly Android 8.1 never came to the LG V20. So I don't know what was there in regards of Android 8.1 compared to 8.0, but that's again the problem is when they shoot out a phone, they're already running to the next, right? They get one out and they run for the next, and then they forget about updating the things and all that, and that's the way it goes. Then you can just buy a new phone, right? Anyway, it would have been interesting to actually see what was new in Android 8. Although it doesn't really matter, I guess, because it's not going to happen. What is new in Android 8.1? I think it was. Here's some new features in Android 8.1 from developers' point of view that Google itself has brought out for intention in the 8.1. Android Go memory optimizing. Well, that's in regards to developers. What new in? Well, you would have thought that they would have fine-tuned things somewhat in regards of 8.1. Here's a video in regards to what's new in 8.1. Of course, it doesn't matter because it never came for the LG V20. But I guess it would probably have been the last version where you could actually record calls out of the box, pretty much, or you just needed an application for it, right? But Android 9, you need to root it, and Android 10, you need to root it as well. And the results you get might actually still be worse than Android 8, even if you root it and do it from there. And of course, when you root it, you might get a lot of other issues. Okay, so we came around the LG V20. Still I would put it as the best mobile out there. I haven't seen anything really to take it over still, even if it's old, and of course it has its issues and all that. But I'd rather live with those issues. If I just could have just gotten an LG V20 at the time where my other died, I would have been happy. All the time, all the days, all the weeks, all the months that I've used on the Shift 6 MQ. What a waste. What a waste. It's incredible how hard it is to get the applications over to it, and you have rooting it. Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know what is wrong with this thing, watch thing, but apparently it's ringing again. I don't know how to turn it off. Clearly. Stay turned off. Well, it's like, give me a break. Never gotten around to how to just use it as in regards of cooking or something like that. You have a sports watch thing in regards of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and all that. So I don't know what's going on with all the ringing thing and all that. In any case, what was it? So many issues in regards of getting things over to the Shift phone, and that's of course Google insanity and different companies not allowing you to use for example the LG program where you can move things from one LG to another LG only works on LG phones. Besides, if you're going to move from a non-LG phone to the LG, then it's okay, but it's one direction only. You cannot go the other direction, which is again bullshit, of course, right? But that's the typical bullshit we see out there. Instead of helping each other, companies try to, and Google tries to take, put us in jail, and it's just disgusting, the whole thing, and the spyware and the advertising, and it's so disgusting, I don't like it. They're just putting dog noses up our buttholes, right? I used one of the applications to look in regards to spyware, and over half of the applications had spyware, and that was after actually I had used another application where I thought, okay, I'm fixed, I don't have any more, or one application or something like that. But anyway, and then I get another application that is much better, and I find out over half of my applications has this bullshit. So I go in and write reviews to these people and 1 star, you have this and that and all that, and some of them would just, we have to do that for to what are you gotta be kidding me, and everybody else does it and all that. Yeah, that doesn't make it right, does it? Just because everybody else goes around in this Nazi, what is it called, psychosis of Corona bullshit and all that, and these prickers, nymphs, that want to inject you with poison and all that. Hey, just because a lot of people want to do that doesn't make it right, It's like, anyway. Insanity of this world, it's just so disgusting, Anyway, so getting back to things, so I couldn't get a new LG V20 phone because of the Corona nonsense. The Fairphone 3 was only 64 gigabytes, so that was not enough. I wouldn't pay for something, if it's only 64, I can, that's just no. So that was only the Shift 6 MQ, and I ordered that, but of course it took them a long time before they actually sent them out. They apparently had the hardware thing sorted out, but not the software. And so anyway, they sent it down. I think I got it around February, the start February or the late January or something like that. I think that was, I got it a week after I actually got a reserve phone in regards to the LG V20. I just ordered something that I really didn't think I would get, but I did actually get it a week before I got this one. But there we go again with this. There's something in the phone, in the the Shift. There's something in the Shift 6MQ that makes this vibration. And you can push, if you push it like on the middle here, you can feel that there's something vibrating. And you gotta be kidding me. There we go. Let's get back to things. So you can feel there's something that is vibrating in it. And as well here, it's incredible, Sorry, I got kind of mad, like incredible, sick and tired of it all, and that's the thing, I'm sick and tired of all the, the mobiles, the computer screens, the whatever, I'm thinking, yeah, a hammer is really the only option for all this, Now this was a, cheap, nonsense, but I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of the nonsense that they push on us. Life is short. Life is short, and they, and that's also the same thing with the Shift, right? Smartphones can be time killers. Yeah, you tell me about it, I've it's like, give me a break, And the Shift phone is a huge time killer, I've used way too much time on this nonsense. And then it breaks. The screen breaks. Then the screen breaks again. And the price for this is like 800 euros. Now I think you can get a little cheaper now. Like 800 euros plus some extra. That's a huge amount. And still only one of the cameras works. Because apparently the drivers wasn't made for Android 10 or something like that. So one of the cameras that they're still pushing, that there's two cameras in it. Now I don't really, in regards of one camera, two camera, all that, but still, if you're going to point out that there's two cameras in it, they probably should work, both of them, right? I think that's fair enough. And it isn't. So, yeah, that was a little drop again, right? Well, at least the screen is already broken, so it doesn't really matter. And it's sad. It's very sad. Very, very sad. But yeah, that could probably have just destroyed the screen if it was working, It is really that, what do you call it? There's not much that actually needs to break the screen. Like a little thing like that, could break the screen, That's 800 kronos. That's, I don't know how many resources that is in what, 100 euros? I think actually, yeah, 110 euros. 110 euros, I guess, plus the thing. That's 110 euros, and I guess you also have to pay for the post thing and all that. For a screen, if you break 2 screens a year, that's 220 euros a year. And if you have this mobile, it seems to be a good idea to actually have an extra screen at hand. Because it breaks so easy, And I in the other video, I talked about that. You just need to blow on it and it breaks pretty much. If you don't, that was not to be taken literally. I didn't say that you just, and then it breaks, right? It was a, what do you call it? Impression. What do you call it? If you take it in context, talking about the screen breaking and all that, you know, it's like if you charge it, it's just break and all that. It was not meant to be taken literally, you know. And I don't know, you know, people, you know, I was told that I was lying about it. You know, you gotta be kidding me. And you really think that, you know, apparently some people would apparently, I don't know if they didn't see it from, but I'm not saying that if you just touch it, then it breaks, okay? I'm just saying it's very fragile, okay? And if, you know, it's in the impression that if you just blow at it, it just, you know, dies, you know? Okay, it's an overstatement, okay, to get a point across, okay? Again, I've had a phone like this, you know, for nearly 4 years, 3 or 4 years or so. I've dropped it many times and the screen never broke. I get the shift and I already break 2 screens in less than a year. Actually, you would, you know, you know, the first, if I got it around February and I needed to send it back, so that's a good amount of time that I couldn't use it. Then I get it back with a pixel issue in the middle of the screen, yippee yay, you know, because that's what you want to get when you pay for a very expensive phone, right? And anyway, now they want to have me pay for the screen because I don't want to take my other video down. I would have thought that would be some kind of, you know, but anyway, I'll pay for a new screen. I'm not going to further, you know, if they want to blackmail me to, hey, you need to take that video down or we're not going to send you a free screen. I think that's bullshit. You know, it's the mobile is not even a year old and I haven't gotten a screen that, you know, they say that, you know, there's some faulty thing with the mobile and all that. I don't know. You know, I can just, you know, talk from my own experience in regards to this, right? And I've had 2 screens dying. And it hasn't even dropped outside on some kind of concrete or something like that. We're talking about inside, you know. Anyway. Sick and tired of it all. I'm just sick and tired of it all, you know. I'm being told that I'm lying, you know. You gotta be kidding me. Lying about what? Yeah, you just, give me a break. You're not taking that literally, are you? You know, I gotta be kidding me. Anyway, so, anyway, I know I'm rambling a little around. There's a lot of information. I should write it down really before and then just go well. Doesn't matter, I guess. But yeah, I thought it would maybe be the next thing for all those LG V20 users out there to get a mobile that, I don't know, I tried to talk to them about, you know, an outside charger and I didn't really get any, but anyway, I seem to have found maybe a solution. So that's nice. But doesn't really matter much now, of course. But yeah, it's just, I'm not going to be paid off, you know. I'm not going to just you know, I hate being censored and you know, I was kicked out of the forum as well. You know, I was told to change my name, you know, on the forum and I was kicked off the forum multiple times actually because I needed to get in there to get the image file for rooting the file. So I needed to, you know, make another account, get in there, and this also takes time, of course, you know, but because not all, you know, apparently you need to be a member and this and that, you know, so sometimes get those files that you needed to do what you know, to root the phone, which again, I actually thought that the Shift 6MQ as well as the Fairphone would be easy to root. I don't know in regards to the Fairphone because I haven't tried the Fairphone. Oh yeah, that's again. Yeah. No. There's something, again, I don't know what it is because I haven't had it open, this mobile. But there's something in the mobile when you do like this, you could feel that something is vibrating inside the mobile. And I don't know if that's the thing that actually makes the screen break because I'm thinking like if it's going to hit something like that, you can feel the vibrations extend more in the mobile. It's like the vibrations goes, it becomes more like a drumming effect. The harder you can feel this vibration inside of it. And I'm thinking if that's in regards to the screen, maybe that's the reason why it breaks. That something is just, I don't know what it is. I haven't been, but clearly it's easy to, if you just, you can, should be pretty easy. It should be the same as, if this is not a faulty unit, you should be able to, you just hit it just in the middle of the screen, and you can feel this vibration, And I don't know if that has anything to do with the screen breaking so easily, but it seems like the harder you actually, hit it, you can feel like the vibration becomes further greater. So I don't know. Again, I haven't had it open. I haven't had the investigation in regards of it and all that. But I would think that it could be the screen that vibrates, and thereby when this mobile hits down, not just hits down on the side or something like that, whatever, that the vibrations goes through the mobile and then the screen breaks. Because apparently the Gorilla Glass hasn't suffered. That I've had a Panzer Glass break, and then I have had 2 screens break. And I don't know why the Panzer Glass was breaking, but that was, the glue around the Panzer Glass was first in one corner, then was slipping, then another corner was slipping, then a third corner, then a fourth corner. So the Panzer Glass was the glue was slipping off further and further. You could still use the phone, so it wasn't like a biggie thing, and was primarily on the sides. And so it's not a biggie problem, although I don't know why we even would have the Panzer Glass on it. As what does it matter to have a Panzer Glass on it if the screen inside the phone underneath the Gorilla Glass just breaks, Doesn't matter the protection outside if the inside breaks, It's like, but anyway, the Panzer Glass, after the mobile fell from, what was it, less than a meter. Last time I made a video, I checked, it was like 80 something centimeters or something like that. It fell down from the kitchen table, which is usually made for women anyway, which is very annoying. So it's lower than usual, and it's not so good for a person like me that is higher. But anyway, fell down to the floor, and it made a scratch, made a line in the glass. And then after a little, it broke more and more and more, little by little. It also seems like the screen inside, I was looking into it last day in regards to the breakage, and it does seem like, when it first broke, I could only see a thing down at the bottom in regards to the glass, but it seems like there's more. When you hit the right place, you can actually see that it goes up in regards to the breakage of the glass, although it is really hard to see. So I don't know if I missed it the first time, or if I can't even see it now. I guess you have to have the right lighting to see it, but you could see that it was broken and going all up. So again, the inner screen breaking. But I'm told that I just have a faulty device. Now, even if I get a new screen, which is pretty expensive as well to get, I wouldn't trust the screen. I wouldn't trust it in regards of it would, it's so easily breaking. And they say that specifically Carsten says that he has dropped it over 100 times outside and never had a problem with that, so I must have a faulty device apparently, but I'm not so sure about that. But I can only go from my own experience, of course, and I have to be honest. Like, think about it. If you have 2 screens, even if you can change it easily and all that, if you have 2 screens a year breaking by using this, that's 220 euros. And it's waste of material as well, which is another, thing. Like, well, you gotta be kidding me, You go, if you got, it's like material. It's waste of energy. It's waste of manpower to, you're breaking a screen every, 2 screens every year. Now maybe I could even come up to 3 screens a year, right? Anyway, but the price point as well is has to be also taken into consideration. 110 euros, right? And for 1 screen, and of course you will have to have it sent. That will, further include resources. You can pretty much get an LG V20 phone for that price. You can get a whole, there's different models of the LG V20, which is another one of these bullshit things that they make different models, and then, when people need to know, you need to hack this like this, and then hack this version like that, and just make further nonsense and all that. But the LG V20, which is this one, you can get it in different models, and some of the models you can actually get it for that price, because it is an older mobile, and this is the LG. This is the LG V20, and of course they also make nonsense in regards to the SD card. I don't know in regards to these designers as well, but in the past you were actually able to get the micro SD card out without taking the battery out, and the LG V20 you are still able to do that to some extent. If you are careful that the battery doesn't slip up when you actually open it up. But the micro SD card is sitting right there, and I know it's a little hard to see, but sitting right there, and the battery of course sitting below. And that's a kind of a, it can be done, but not in regards to the SIM card. If you put the SIM card in, you have to have the battery out before actually taking it in or out and all that. I don't know, in regards of these people that is designing things, it's just, it's radius, I guess you have to have a long education to be so, become an expert to make these idiotic things, And of course, designed absolution and all that, and just the same problem with the Shift pretty much. Well, that's actually worse than the LG V20. Because you have the SIM cards right there, and then you have the SD card there, and actually that's also an interesting thing with you have usually sometimes you have where it pushes it out, right? Let's see if we can actually see. No, I don't have. Oh yeah, of course it's in my phone. I don't have a SIM card. But I can't remember which one of them, but some of the ports you actually have a spring-loaded thing where it actually, maybe we have a, there we go. Let's put a micro SD here. So you have the micro SD, you put it in, let's see if that's some of them that is not spring-loaded. I think it might actually be the micro SD, yeah. So you put the micro SD in it, the Shift phone, and usually you would be able to just push the card and then it would jump back. At least that's one of the ways to do it. Here you actually need to have your nail and push down on it and take it out. It's possible, but it's just, the SIM card, if I recall, actually has this pushing ability where you just push it and then it jumps out, like you would expect. But you would also expect it on the SIM card, and it's just not there. Nah, it's not a biggie. It's just, you can't really see anything, can you? It's really not good, there's not much light outside and all that. But yeah, so you use your nail here, get into the card, and then just pull it out. And well, it's possible. It's just a kind of a weird thing that wouldn't be any where you just push it up and then it jumps out. Because I think they have it on the SIM cards, if I recall, but I don't have SIM card at the moment. I can just try so to verify. Anyway, so, but whatever the case, you know, but yeah, I just have to be honest because I don't want to go into dishonesty, you know. And I feel like removing one of my videos, even if no one really sees the video, that's censoring myself, and I don't want to compromise on my things. And I think we should all have be allowed to speak up in regards of what we feel, you know, in regards of what we experience and all that. Hey, let's say it's just a faulty device. I doubt it, but let's say it's a faulty device. It's just still sad, you know. I'm just one voice, you know. Other people have their shift phone and they can, you know, disagree. Maybe they have a much better experience than I have with it. But I become disillusioned in regards of it, sadly. And you know, breaking the screen is just really, that's really one of the biggies, you know. Because you can't use it if the screen breaks. And it's not like that the screen breaks and then you can still use it like with a, both of the times it's just broken totally, you know, where you can't use it at all. You know, it's just, you know, I had one other mobile that I broke in the past, and that was the Note 2 in Israel. And that was fair enough, you know. I dropped it and was fixing on this yellow stone thing. What is it called when they build things and all that? You have the, well, or sometimes bad roads or whatever you want to call it, where they have these I'm not sure what it's rock I don't know what it's called in English. But anyway, you have these stones and it's fixed out and all that. But sometimes you still have stones here and there. And my Note V20, oh sorry, my Note 2 fell on the, you know, and directly down on a rock. But even if the glass broke, the screen was still working, so I could still use the mobile. Yeah. That's pretty much the only other time where I broke a screen, as far as I recall. So it's just interesting that I would have broken 2 screens now by this mobile, and it might be a faulty device and all that. If it's a faulty device, I would think that Shift would actually send me a new screen without me needing to pay for it, you know. But that's not going to happen apparently, because, you know, I'm not going to delete my YouTube video that I put forward that they don't like, and thereby they won't send me another screen because they don't want to put too, you know, money in me or whatever they call it or whatever. It's like, well, I've actually thought it would have actually been under some kind of, and I could probably further look into that, but I don't, you know, I have other things to do, and it's just, I just feel like that's kind of a, you know, it just shows further what bullshit this is. Because then you're paying 800 euros for a phone, and let's say you break the screen, and you're going to pay for another screen if the company is not going to replace it in the first year. Well, that's 110 euros more, and the sending of it and all that, right? And then of course, if you're going to send it back, it's much more, because they have a price for you for actually, you know, they have a thing where you can actually pay for getting it replaced. And it's like, that's just, it just gets, that would be, you know, if you have this for 5 years and you break it one screen every single year, and you can't change it for yourself or whatever, that's going to be expensive. And of course, just buying the screen is expensive. But anyway, whatever. I just feel it's bullshit. So that would be another negative point in regards to the whole thing. So, well, I think you could, let's see here. Impact. Nope. I can't find it at the moment, but there is like 2 different ways of you sending. Oh yeah, display laboratory 88 euros. At least for, let's see here. So let's see how it costs. 133 euros, but then you still need to send it back to them. They need to do the repairment, and then you need to, and then you don't have your phone, It's just like, I'd rather have a phone that I actually know is pretty solid, that won't break on me, just because I drop it or, something like that. I think if you buy a shift phone, you would, and you want to have like a daily, you would need to have a second screen at hand, just to be sure that you actually have the ability to actually use your mobile, because that that screen, as far as I can see, is very easily broken. And they can say that I have faulty devices, then it's 2 faulty devices, whatever they want to call it, It's very sad. But that's, of course, only the top of the mountain in regards of this. I have so many other things that I have issues in regards of it. One other biggie I think is actually the speaker. I did notice when I got it, in regards to the speaker, I did notice a difference between my LG V20 and the new phone in regards to the speaker. It's not a biggie in regards of, but what I found out was that when I'm speaking to people with the shift phone, I have a lot harder listening to what they are saying, and I'm not holding the phone up to my ears because of the radiation and all that. I have a very difficult time hearing what they're saying. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me personally that just, but I have a hard time hearing what they are saying. Which kind of, is a problem, a biggie. I have another biggie, but that might be some kind of a software issue, or because I rooted the phone. Again, rooting the phone just makes a havoc of issues, But the phone is a phone, right? So it should, ring when people call, right? But I had issues with it not really calling when people called, and sometimes it did and sometimes it didn't. And then you gotta notice afterwards that someone called you, and that's kind of not really good, It's like, but anyway, they were still working on it, and I guess they're still working on updating the phones and all that. It just didn't seem like it actually became much better. I actually seemed to get into more issues. Another biggie, I think, is that my mobile began to have trouble charging. Now, I also tried that on my old LG V20 after some time that I used the wrong charger, and apparently it seems to not wanting to charge the full amount anymore in regards of fast charging. It seems to do something with it, which might have been a software issue, actually, and not a hardware issue, because it does seem to charge correctly now after I did a reset and all these, this Frankenstein model that I have here, which pretty much have, it's actually consisting of 3 different kinds of variants of the LG V20. The motherboard is my old one, the screen and pretty much the rest of the body is, what is it called, the F800K, I think it's called. And then we have a DS system on it, non-rooted, so it's like 3 different, 3 different variants put together into one to just. It's pretty much just my reserve phone. So it's whatever. I lost all my data on it with when it has a rooted version, yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's what is on it at the moment, and non-rooted. I just don't want to bother with the rooting thing. Takes too much time and makes too many issues. You always get issues when you root the phone. It's just anyway. So yeah, another biggie was that the problem is that I was asking them in regards of shift, in regards of getting, external charger for the phone. I bought 4 batteries. Well, those batteries there. I bought 4 batteries for the phone, so I would easily, have enough power with me and all that if I needed recording or whatever and all that, or whatnot. But anyway, so I got 4 batteries, and the problem was that you could only charge them with your mobile. So what I did was put them in the mobile and use the mobile while it was charging and all that, and that went, it was possible to charge the batteries while it was doing it. When it was full, I just took the battery out, closed it down, fixed a new battery in it, and started up the mobile again. But of course, again, you have the problem in regards of when it's below 10%, the mobile becomes way slower than it is. So, but anyway, that was the way I could then charge the batteries, but still pretty annoying to need to close down the system, open it up again, and all these other things. But then I was using one main charger that I found to be the best. I tried all my chargers that I had, and I found pretty much two chargers that was, seemingly doing very good in regards to the shift. And sadly, that charger burned off. And then, not long after it burned off, I began to have these issues in regards to the charging of the shift phone. And so I couldn't really use the phone while charging because then it would lose power. So I couldn't charge the battery because while using it, even if I had it connected, it just, went downhill. So I couldn't even use it while being connected. And at that point, I didn't know what, there was some updates for the application and all that. So I can't totally, figure out when it began to do it, because there was a lot of things going on at that point. But I thought it was maybe that I didn't have the right charger anymore, that the charger had been burned off and all that. So I thought, okay, So I ordered a new charger of the same, and that didn't help on the issue. And it's probably a reset one would need to do on the system to get it back on the right track. I think it probably is one of these software issues again that I had, like the LG V20. When you update the system and all that, it seems like updating or in regards, I don't know, whatever the case, it's not charging as it should. That wasn't really a biggie on my LG V20 when the LG V20 began to do that, because I had these guys. So what I just did was charge, the batteries on these guys, and just flip the batteries, and that, and I don't like having, the mobile and a cable anyway, and well, besides when you're not using it, of course, but when you're using it, I don't really want to be stuck to a cable like I was with the Shift 6MQ. And I'm probably a hard user, a very, hard user, using things and all that, so it's, using my mobile probably way too much than I should. But in any case, the problem was, with my LG V20, I had 2 of these, and you could just easily, you really only need one, but 2 was nice, it wasn't bad with 2. But you can really do with one, really. You don't need to have two, but yeah. So, but two was nice, you know. And of course, if you actually also get bigger batteries that actually is more fitting, then a lot of these, you know, nonsense things is getting further away. So that's nice. Like when you have like a 6,400 milliamp battery, that helps a lot, you know. That helps a lot to have like a sane level of battery power in the mobile as it should. So if you could actually have, you know, two of those, right? You know, then you would have one battery that is charging. If you get to the point of emptying that 6,400 battery before you connect the phone again, well, then you will just have to flip it around. It takes, you know, not a long time. So I really don't know why they would go away from these things, but they did. You know, all these. Well, I guess, you know, the devil runs the whole thing, right? And that's very sad. The devil does his due, or whatever you want to call it. But it's just madness how the whole mobile industry just went away from sanity. It's like we have, you know, you have the. Oh, that was pyramid here. A flag model had pretty much specific things, you know, and they just went away from all these, you know, things. It's very sad. It's like, you know, one thing is that some of the companies went in that direction. Another thing is that every one of them took a turn to the worse. And thereby people, you can see that people don't, you know, that there's a lot of people that just don't want to go along with this because they're still using the LG V20. The LG V20 has become like this, you know, it's just, it is this mobile that people are still talking about, you know, and still using and still, you know, thinking, you know, what other mobile can replace it, you know? You know, what can I do? You know, it's like, you know, it's not like people don't want the new mobile. It's just like, what is going to replace it? You know, because they all went haywire, you know? This is the last flagship of any company with those three essentials. It's a joke. It's absolutely a joke that all the companies went and that is one of the things that, of course, I like with the shift, that they didn't go away from those three essentials. And that's why it actually comes up on top on all the rest of the bullshit out there. But still, I'm of course very critical still. And I still have to be honest that I think it's not good enough, you know. But it absolutely gets to the, what do you call it, to the point of above the rest of the garbage of mobiles that doesn't have the three essentials. So it's still up there as one of the few, but I still think it's not good enough. It's just all the issues I've had with it. It's just, it's not. It's just sad, you know. It's just I had so much hope that this would be it, you know. I had so much hope that this could be a replacement, even if it was expensive, that it could be a replacement for the LG V20 people that is looking for a new, you know, a way for the next mobile that is fast. And but I'm sad to say that this doesn't, you know, I don't, it's so, it just, I can't see how I how I can promote this, you know, say, yeah, you know, it's like, hey, you have to try the Shift 6MQ. No, I can't see myself promoting this to other people, and that's the sad thing, you know. it's just not good enough. All those issues that I've had, it's just not good enough. And all those updates, and I've waited, and tried to update the different versions and all that, and is just getting all these different issues, and it's just not good enough. And what am I going to do if I can't even charge the mobile? What am I? Oh, you just need to reset the whole mobile and lose all your data? That's not good enough. And that, in regards to the Shift company, it's of course not. It's not all their fault. It's because it's Android. It's because it's Google bullshit, and that's just how it is. So I sadly I can't see it actually overtaking the LG V20, even if it has 128 gigabyte. That's nice. I also have, after rooting it, I had problems in regards of moving files and files, corruption of file names, and but that's in regards of root, and of course that's like a third party thing when you put Magis on it, and Magis like a level thing here and do its thing and all that. That's but the thing is, in regards, you shouldn't even be needing to do that. That's my point. They force us to go in those directions and misuse all our time for things, for possibilities that we can do with the mobile that we should just be able to do out of the box in the first place. That's my big problem. They're jailing us in, and if you go out of their jail box, they have mined the whole area, so you just want to go into the jail box again, And that's, I think, is diabolical, disgusting, and it's filthy. And of course, it's not all Shift fault, It's Google, it's Android, and taking away features that people want. Like when I've told people that I, recording calls and all that, it's like, oh, can you make my phone record calls? I want to have. It's like, okay, do you have Android 9 or Android 10 or Android 11? Yeah, Android 9, no go. Android 10, no go, pretty much. Android 11, that I think that's no go as well. I don't think Google would have gone back on their thing. I don't know, but maybe some of you that have Android 11 can tell me if they actually have fixed so you can actually record calls again. And of course, the programmers are trying to all these circumventing things to try to pretty much hack the device to make it do what they want to have it, or it's just so disgusting. It's just the wrong direction to take. It's not the right direction. If the person wants to do this, he should be able to do this. He shouldn't be able to use hours and hours and hours to figure out how to root the device and install different things and whatnot, and use this and that and all that, and find the right thing that works and all that. He should just be able to do it from the very beginning, but of course the user should have root out of the box. And Android Google is a molested Linux. If you even can call it a Linux, when you don't even have the control as the user. And again, it was promoted many years ago. Android was promoted as a Linux mobile. I don't know what you want to call it, but without root out of the box, and we get these. The problem is there's sitting some programmers that purposely do so you can't do what you want, and then there's the other side that programmers, known as hackers, I guess, trying to fix those things so the end user can actually do what he wanna do. So you have people doing bullshit over here, then you have people trying to sort out the mess as best as possible without too many issues. And then you have the end users that, need to figure out in regards of all the things. So you have a huge amount of man hours that is just lost on insanity. Someone building the wall, someone taking the wall down, and someone trying to use it in the end. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. And that was one of the reasons why I don't want to support Google anymore. And I didn't really want to go along with another Google mobile. I wanted to flee from this nonsense. Which sadly, kind of not really able to still. Oh yeah, that by the way, we're going to the next mobile on the list, I guess. Well, I guess I didn't make a list, but you know, and that's the Pinephone Pro. Now, that will be an interesting mobile, I think, but the problem is, I guess we have also talked about it a little. But the Pinephone Pro is, it's, what do you call it? It's a Linux mobile. You have root out of the package, you know? You have root out of the package. I think if Shift Phone should do anything, they actually should look into Linux phones instead, you know? But anyway, it's not going to be, you know, this Google nonsense. And if you want to have freedom and yeah, again, it would have been interesting to try the Fairphone in regards to how to unroot it, and if that would, but that would probably end up in a lot of issues again. By the way, in regards to the Shift Phone, the speaker is not that loud, and that can be sorted out, but you need to root it. You see, you can't do it without root. And when you root the phone, you get into all these other sicknesses, like, you know, like a hormonal disturbed woman that just, you know, gets into a lot of issues. You know, whatever wacky thing, and you need to reset the mobile again and again and again, and you know, one issue and then another issue and then whatever. In any case, but if you actually root the phone, there is an application for Magisk, but you can't take the one that is on Magisk, you know, for download, because that doesn't work. You need to download another one, which I think is a Russian guy that made or something like that. But you need to have the right version, Viber something I think it's called, and that works wonderful. Actually, it's an amazing application. But of course, it only works with root, right? Because that's how it is, you know. But it's an amazing application, absolutely amazing application. You have settings for the jack stick, for the speaker, for whatever, you know. Different. I think it's 4 different things. Also Bluetooth, I think it is, and one more. But you can actually set the treble bass thing and all that, and push the speaker to further loudness and all that, and you can actually get to a point where it's pretty reasonable. I think it's actually, you can get to a pretty reasonable, yeah. But again, you need to root the phone for that. And again, when you root the phone, you get into other issues, and it's a living nightmare. It becomes a living nightmare. That's what it is. Oh well. Anyway, so to get back to things, I need to order the screen for the phone so I can get into the phone and get my data and all that, and then go from there. But I think it's crabby. I think it's very crabby that you have, you know, I haven't had a good, you know, the first week, you know, breaks, getting a new screen, which have the what do you call it? Oh, you know, have to be careful in regards of, you know, if it wasn't broken before, it would break, right? You know, it just, at least it could break, you know. You know, it's like, you know, something like that, I wouldn't have been, you know, like, I wouldn't have been afraid of doing it to my LG V20, you know, if I had dropped it or whatever, it would have, you know, I wouldn't be kind of, like, I would be surprised if it would break, you know. But this one, I'm like, ooh, did it break? You know, it's like, that's the thing. You know, it's like, okay, this falls and all that. Okay, if like I'm looking, oh great, it works without any issues, right? This one, right? I would be, whoa, no, did it break? You know, it's like, ooh, it's like, oh no, did it break? You know, that would be the feeling I would have just by a small rupture. You know, it's just I would, just it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And then, of course, again, the question is this that you can, this thing that vibrates, is that the thing? Is that the screen inside that is vibrating? What is it that vibrates, Is that the thing that makes it, because if you can just, you can feel this vibration. And again, if you hit it if you hit it hard enough, that would, make it, of course, vibrate even further. And again, if that is the thing that, I don't know. Again, I haven't had it opened. I haven't looked into it. I think they should look into it for sure if that's the case. You can feel it, And there was something that I actually, when I first got the mobile and began, when you touch the screen, you could feel like this. And I was like, what is this? Because I never tried that with a phone, that when you push it like here in the middle, that you have this, thing. I was like, what is that? What is that? And then again, I have to ask, what is it? Is it something to do with why the screen is breaking so easily? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I don't know. They can do whatever they want. I've just tried to be as honest as possible, and I put a lot of hours in this as well. So I don't know why they, I think it's kind of nonsense in regards of their, yeah. Anyway, so getting a new screen for it, getting back to get my information out and all that, and we'll see. It will also be interesting to actually try to replace the screen and see how easy it really is. It shouldn't be a problem. I've done things on my LG V20s and all that, and this should be made for it, right? So, and there's a screwdriver with it and all that. So should be. Of course, it has been opened before, but not of me. I do wonder why they use these specific, screwdriver thing. Why didn't they just use standard? I don't know. But this is like a specific kind of screwdriver, it seems. I guess that's the one that is in the thing, right? But still, I do wonder why use like another kind of. I think I have it here. Let's see here. Oh, there we can see actually. Ooh, there we go. Oh yeah. Well, I guess that might actually have just come from the drop blast. That's usually right when it breaks a little, it begins to break more and more and more, because then it's already at the point where the screen is fragile. In regards to the Panzer glass, I could just see there was just one line, and I didn't really do. It just began to grow, little by little. And see here in regards of the. It looks like a Torque. An S2T3 apparently. Looks like a little small Torque that you can do. But yeah, it's the inner screen now absolutely have a pretty nice line that is pretty visible now. So yeah. But yeah, again, when it begins, then it goes from there, I guess. What can I say? Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, but I'm not going to succumb to blackmail, that's for sure. Blackmail is not, I'm not going to be paid off for whatever thing and all that. But I don't even, understand why they wouldn't actually replace a screen freely anyway, because it's not, I would have thought there would be some kind of declaration on it or something like that, but maybe they don't want to follow those rules. I don't know all the rules in regards to that, but I think it's bullshit that they don't want to replace it, another screen that I need to pay for it. So again, another negative thing in regards to the phone and I guess the company as a whole. Of course, I was kicked out of the forums as well. I think the last one that I made, I was making my own topic on the forum in regards of children-friendly search engines. Apparently, they didn't like that. So that was one of the things. I was also in one of the Corona things. I was warning people in regards of the vaccines. They didn't like that either. I think there was some biblical things as well. They didn't like that either. And of course, people was complaining about me, and they didn't wanted to have me change my name. I didn't, not totally willing to actually change my name. Thought okay, change my name, and then I was kicked out of the forum afterwards. But yeah, interesting. Who cares? It's so it wasn't really, the community as a whole didn't really seem. I didn't, I guess the problem was in regards of that, in regards to the community. I didn't go into in regards of this view on the mobile being this or that. I went in regards to the features. That was the thing that really, in regards of the rest. I just wanted a phone that really, did what I wanted, and had what I wanted. So it wasn't really all these other, what do you call it, things that they stand for. Wasn't really the thing that was my concern. It was in regard to the mobile and how it worked, and if it could be a replacement for the LG V20. Also in the forum, I remember you're not allowed apparently to make links to other places, which I also find really, odd, really weird. I was solving issues and I found solutions other places, and I linked to these other places, and these was deleted. The information was deleted, so you couldn't help. This information was things that I had look for and research, and if anyone had the same problem, they could look into it themselves with these sources, but that was not allowed apparently. Got deleted and removed and all that, so whatever. That's how it goes. Anyway, so the next phone we pretty much have is the Pinephone Pro. And the Pinephone Pro looks interesting, but again, I don't think it will be like a daily, phone that you can actually use as a. I don't think it will have the battery time for it, and I don't know what it can really do in regards of calls. If it can record calls, that would be, if they can actually fix recording calls, that would be a really gigantic push for them, I think. Because that is a feature that Google have taken out. I don't know, in regards of iPhone, I would think that iPhone also have not made it able to, but I don't know. I haven't really used iPhone, but iPhone, that's Apple and more jailing and all that. So in any case, so the Pinephone Pro actually looks very nice. The price range is also pretty nice. It's actually not that bad. It's actually in the lower levels. It has one front camera, one rear camera. And by the way, in regards to the cameras, I think I did talk about that in regards to the Shift phone. You have two cameras, but only one of them is working, right? And the phone has been now out for nearly a year, something like that, and they at least have been working on the software for a long time. and I don't know if they're ever going to get that camera to work, you know, because those that made the drivers stopped making the drivers for for it. So yeah, because they upgraded from Android 8 to Android 10, which actually I would have loved them actually to have made an Android 8 system for that phone instead of Android 10, because then I would still be able to record calls at least without needing to root the phone. So when I actually saw that they had this Android 8, I thought, okay, that might be a okay, you know, thing, because then you don't need to root it. When they upgraded to Android 10 instead, I was thinking, okay, well, I can just root it. But the problem again with the rooting always is issues. So, although it does, in regards to the speed, doesn't seem to be affected when you root the phone. When you do it on the LG V20, you can get a huge effect on the speed of the phone when you root it. Didn't really see that in the Shift phone, so that's nice. You know, it's nice to. But I saw a lot of other issues, which is utterly terrible. So the thing, I don't want to root a phone. I wish I could, you know, have all those features that you have in regards to root, but the thing is that they made it so difficult, so nonsensical, you know, so utter outrageous. So if you root it, you know, you have to hack it and do all these, and that tend to make other issues. And I just don't want to bother with this garbage, you know. And then, oh, you have this issue and this issue, and it's like it's yeah, just too much. Anyway, the Pinephone, we have the Pinephone, but the Pinephone Pro, which is coming soon, so it's still, I don't know if it's, you know, again, at least they are pretty honest in regards of saying that this is not a mobile that is pretty much ready for, at least they are, you know, I think it's that's nice to see that they're saying that, you know, this is, you know, just, you know, settle down, you know, it's yeah, okay, we upgraded the hardware and all that, but there's still a lot of work to do on the Pinephone to, you know, to really make it to most people's daily driver, you know, and I think that's nice of them to say, to have some honesty on those levels. It seems pretty. And I've also been on the forum, and actually they seem to be able to actually talk about, you know, against vaccines and all that, and it seems like the people there are some kind of more in the line of my thoughts, you know. So more in regards of freedom and not being jailed in, and actually also being against like things like vaccines, or, you know, all these yeah, you know, having some freedom. So that looks good. So I don't know, but I've been on the forum and looking around, and yeah, it seems like, you know, it doesn't seem like they're going to ban me. I think I also have the name that I think I put the name, this thing that offends so many people. The truth offends people. But who's online? Don't apparently sign off, log in. Let's see. Apparently, okay. Maybe I have it on the other browser. But yeah, it looks pretty good. You know, I've seen some videos of the Pinephone Pro, but again, it's absolutely going in the right direction. In regards of the Linux phones, if anything is going to be successfully at the moment, it seems to be the Pinephone that really seems to be, if anything, to be the successful thing for that. The Linux community or the Linux phone community just needs to get up over the hurdle, and if it first gets to that point, it will just, I think it will roll wonderful. So, but yeah, That's so general discussion on the Pinephone. Nope, I don't have anyone. But I actually have further in regards of my name. I put my whole address in my nickname, and haven't had any problems with that. So Jesus, God, and slash, no, not a slash, what do you call it? Separation line or whatever. Pope666.info, and they actually have accepted that with it. Haven't had any negative things in regards of the forum on regards of that. So that's actually two truth in one, and I haven't been banned for having, it's very unpopular nowadays to have these things. A lot of people just can't stand. They get so offended by the truth. You can't speak the truth. Whatever. Anyway, and we also can be talking about vaccines apparently without getting banned, and talking against vaccines as well. It seems so. That looks pretty good. Anyway, let's go back to the phone. The phone is pretty much, as I understand it, just primarily an upgrade from the former version, which was made for developers primarily, not for a phone that you could really use in daily life, but as a developer, for developers and all that. And the Pro is just further upgraded of the hardware, so it will run more smooth, and it's $399. Whatever, in regards to this $399. Why not just write 400? Come on, who thought about this 400 thing of 499 or five? It's like, what? Give me a break, Oh, it's like, who thought about that? It's just it sounds better or something like that. I don't know. So who is it for? Contemporary mobile Linux operating systems have a way to go before they can be considered true alternatives to Android or iOS. While mobile Linux is in a state that could satisfy most mainstream electronic consumers, we recognize that a sizable portion of our community is ready to make the jump to a Linux-only smartphone today. The Pinephone Pro has the raw horsepower to be your daily driver, granted you are ready to accept the current software limitations. In a nutshell, if you are an existing Pinephone owner and you only wish it's for the device to be more powerful and refined, then the Pinephone Pro is for you. Who is, and then comes who it isn't for. We're not in the business of selling empty promises. And that, I think, in regards of Librem had, that was kind of bad. It was really bad. How the Librem 5 came out and how it was hyped and this and that, and then it just fell to the floor, flat out. If they had been honest how far they actually had gotten with the phone, the hype wouldn't have been there, and so there's a huge amount of hype. I just failed. Anyway, we're not in the business of selling empty promises. A much faster mainline Linux smartphone won't make the existing operating systems more refined, nor will it magically spawn software replacement for your iOS or Android applications. There is a long road ahead of us, all of us, and it will require time and effort for the software to reach a degree of maturity that would satisfy mainstream users. So, they're saying that mainstream users, there's still a long way for that, And I like that they're actually honest about it, That they're not just saying, hey, we are hyping this phone to whatever, right, But they're actually saying, well, you guys, it's still a long way to, but I think you can actually call from it and receive calls, and if you could actually just also record calls, that would actually be a long way for getting in the right direction. Anyway, that's a little more If you depend on proprietary mainstream mobile messenger applications, banking applications, use loyalty or travel apps, consume DRM media, or play mobile video games on your Fruit or Android smartphone, I'm not sure what the Fruit is, but then the Pinephone Pro is likely not for you. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that's fair. I think, so it smells better to me in regard to the Pinephone, I must say, but I don't know. But it's not that expensive compared to the Shift phone either. I don't know. Now that I have my LG V20 phone, which I'm using at the moment to record, and as you can see, it's still recording, so it's doing all right. Well, I think am I running? I'm not sure if I think I'm running 4G at the moment, but it's running without any problems, it seems. So let's see here. Now it's actually running 3G. Interesting. It should actually have complained about my speed, I would have thought. But it actually doesn't complain. It actually says it has a pretty good speed. That is interesting. Usually it would have complained about the about the speed and all that. I don't know why it's not complaining about that. Maybe it says it's very good connection. Maybe it's because I'm talking about a subject that YouTube doesn't have a problem with. I don't know. But yeah, apparently seemingly going pretty good. So how's the performance? What's the availability like? What does it run? And you have multiple Linux operating systems that it can run, and then of course you get into this thing of trying things and using a lot of. And if you like that, that's fine, right? But I'm just at the point where I just want something to work so I can use it to other things, That's pretty much where I am. But anyway, the LG V20, now I lost a lot of data because my backups, I deleted my backups. I didn't think I would need them because I would just make another backup. But lo and behold, my Frankenstein LG V20 couldn't make a backup with the application, which never had a problem before. Of course, it was rooted and all that, but usually no problem in regards of making a backup. I've never had that problem before. But yeah, typically, right, delete all your your backups and then go to your mobile to make the newest backup that you have with from that system, and it doesn't work anymore. So I tried to unroot the phone, and I didn't have this one at that point, the new LG V20, which seems to be new from the package and all that. It's wonderful. I can probably run 3 years with this guy, hopefully. It doesn't have the greatest CPU or whatever and all that, and it still have its things here and there, but at least, yeah, at least it's still sort of still, it's still the best that pretty much is on the market as far as I can see. So, and it can still do a lot of things, the things here and there that is problematic and all that, at least seems to be. Oh yeah, that was the Shift 6MQ had this way of you have this light up here, and oh come on, go away. Any case, so it has this light up here. It begins to light up when either if it's charging or if it's getting to a point where it doesn't have any battery anymore and all that. Let's see if we can actually get it to. If we can take it off here. Okay, now I have problems here taking it off. Gotta go. Okay, let's take a battery. They should be fully charged. Put it in there, and that's actually pretty easy to you know, it's not that difficult to just snap another battery in it. So it starts up and all that, but of course no screen, but it makes the noise that it's starting up, but no screen. So let's see if we can get like a thing like this in it and see if it actually will. No, there's no light in the top. Well, of course. No, there we go. There we go. There we go. You see, on the top, it's lighting up. It's a green, so it's full. But yeah, you can see the light here, and it begins to blink when you get down. And again, I don't know if you can set it off or what. You know, you might be able to set it off. I'm just kind of, you know, whatever. You know, why are you blinking? You know, why if when you die, you die. You know, I'll just flip another battery in it. You know, I kind of have, you know, the little percentage up in the corner saying how much battery there is in the phone. Okay, you know, I don't need a reminder for that. You know, I can just look up, you know, to the right corner, and if, you know, and see, okay, if anything, you know, one could actually just make it a different color when it gets lower, and you know, then could become red or something like that, you know, whatever. It's just, you don't need a blinking lamp blinking in your face, you know, all the time. It's just annoying. It's just, I don't get it, you know. That's just me, you know. Of course, it can be used to other things, as I understand, in regards, I think, messages or something like that. I can't remember. Any case, it's not, just. And then, of course, when it comes to 10% in regard to the mobile, it goes into this mode where it seems it's only using one processor. So if you benchmark it, you can see that it seems like it's just gone down to one processor instead of using all the kernels, which also can be felt for sure on the system in regards to the speed. And they don't have any bigger batteries than these. And you see, if you actually had bigger batteries for the mobile in itself, you would be able to run longer with this. And I don't understand these, you know, these companies that make these mobiles, you know, why they make so small batteries, you know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Just way too quickly to empty them, you know. And it goes really quickly to emptying these, you know, these batteries for this phone. I don't know in regards of how long I can run in regards of compared to an LG V20 and all that, but yeah, it's just way too quick. And there's no possibility of getting a bigger battery, and I don't think there will be any bigger batteries for it. And then of course, if you can't, you know, at least if you can charge the batteries from the outside, it's much better, you know. You know, at least it gives you the possibility to just flipping the battery really quickly. Anyway, whatever. I'm talking. So, anyway, I should get to order that screen, so I will get it soon, hopefully, and I'll see and change it. Nothing really other way to do. I think it's bullshit that I need to pay for it myself. But again, that just shows another problem of this. If the screen breaks easily and you need to pay for it, well, 110 euros for a screen every single time. And let's see here. Says it takes 3 to 7 werktage. I guess that's werkday, or you know, work days. Let's see what more display. Let's see if we can change it to translate. The German is also a problem. A lot of the things is German, and of course the people are German speaking. That's a further problem with the Shift company, because you also go to the forum and there's a lot of the things is in German. On the website, a lot of the things is in German. I just don't know German. I know English much better than German, so Um, so that's a kind of a problem, you know. At least you know a browser that can translate to English is pretty nice. Okay, a defective display is annoying. Yeah, you tell me about it. But you can find the right spare parts here. Select your device to. But again, the thing is, a new screen cost as much as a new mobile, an LG V20. You can go buy an LG V20 for the same price as this. Now, of course, it won't be the DS model or the N model. And by the way, the DS model and the N model of the LG V20 are the models which has two, you know, possibility for two SIM cards. You know, there's not really much difference really between the variants. There's the infrared thing, but actually I found out that even the F800K variant that I had actually did have infrared. You just needed to take the plastic out that they put in the top of the mobile. So it was actually there. It's just, and it also worked. I did get it to work and all that. So you have up here, you have this little thing, and they just put a plastic thing in. You need to take that out, and of course, then you of course need to have the application. So you might need to install another kind of variant of the software of the system. But I think as long as you're not rooting it, you probably won't get into too many issues. But hey, you know, I guess it's, you know, if you want the infrared and all that, I guess it's just much easier to just go with the DS or the N model 990N or 990DS, I think it's called. The DS and the N model is of the LG V20 has the difference that the DS model has apparently just greater Wi-Fi ability. I don't know if it's hardware related or software related, but that's the only difference between the two. So there are different versions of the DS system as well from different nations and all that. Doesn't make it easier. But there can be some different variants in regards of it, I've found out. And it seems like the DS version that I've gotten now, I haven't been able to find the files for that specific version. And I'm not entirely sure whether maybe the version is from Africa or something. I don't know, but it doesn't have the, I couldn't find the, at least not the first search in regards of it. Maybe other websites have it, but I had one specific page where I got the systems, and it didn't. The DS section didn't have that kind of version that I have on this. So I'm not sure what nationality this DS version is from, but it seems to be working without any issues. Well, at least it seems to be working pretty good. You know, I've had one error or two or something like that, but we'll see how it goes. You know, it's besides that, it's running pretty good. It seems to be going pretty good, and it hasn't closed down while we've been recording, and we've been recording for a good amount. Now the camera might not be the best and so forward and blah blah blah, you know, because it's an older mobile and blah 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 and all that, but still, I think I'll keep a hold on that for 3 years more or something like that. You know, 3 years, they you know, and of course, who knows if I'm going to live in 3 years. A lot of things are going on, and they're murdering people to the left and the right. So, yeah. So yeah, that's the difference with the DS and the N model. The thing is, with the DS and the N model is that they are the more expensive versions of the LG V20. So if you compare some of the variations of the, you know, you can get much cheaper versions than the DS or the N model. But if I were to pay for an LG V20, it would be the DS or the N model. Preferable the DS because it does seem to have just a little a better Wi-Fi thing, although I don't use the Wi-Fi very 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 seldom, but you know, yeah, why not just take the best of the best, right? If you can figure out, okay, this actually is, you know, there's 3 models that actually has double SIM card of the LG model. The one that I haven't really found much is the 990, and then you have the 990DS, and then you have the 909N. That's the three models that have two SIM cards. Again, I haven't really used two SIM cards either, but anyway, those are the three models. It's always nice to have the option at least, But yeah, that's the three. But again, I haven't seen the 990, and I can't remember what the difference is in regards to the 900 compared to the. I can't remember. Whatever the case, yeah, of course, I guess you could maybe find LG V20 920 versus 920 DS versus 990 and yeah, whatever. I don't know. Let's see if it comes up here. Okay, LG V20 DS Dual versus H. Yeah, well then I don't think they have the 990. It seems. So again, the 990 that I've seen another place. I don't know if it's just a different name for. I don't know. Here we have the 990 DS Dual versus the 990 N Dual, and it's H actually in the front. So H990 DS or H99N. And again, the only difference is in regards of the. Oh, maybe it's in regards of the. Maybe it's not the Wi-Fi. Maybe it's actually the 4G apparently. I thought it was the Wi-Fi last time I checked. Well, the release date is 2016, so around 5 years. Around 5 years, yeah. Let's see here, a quad core and blah 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 blah. But everything is pretty much the same, except apparently they say it's in regards to the 4G 4 LTE, and I usually don't use the 4G, but apparently it says that it's 600 megabit per second compared to the other one, which is 300 megabit per second. That seems to be, that would, of course, if it's in regards to the 4G and all that, I guess that would be a pretty nice difference to take into consideration. Other model names, well, DS, but pretty much all the DS. We have a dual, all have N. Again, I don't know in regards to that if the other thing, at least there's some. The 990, there is some what do you call systems for the LG V20 990, but I don't seem to see that the mobile actually exists anywhere. So it seems like you're always getting the DS model or the N model. Anyway, I bought the DS model. This is the DS model that I have here. And again, if it's double the speed in regards of the ability in regards of the 4G, maybe that's a good thing. Seems to be 4G plus, both of them, LTE-A, both of them, but the difference again is one says 300 and one says 600. And that's the double amount. So again, that might be pretty good upgrade. Pretty good difference. I don't know how much that is in kilobit or kilobyte or whatever. Yeah, there's so much confusion in regards to that. But let's see here. Here we have the LG V20 Dual. Go full spec. Okay. There's of course the resolution issue as well. On the LG V20 you still have the resolution that fits a screen, whereas the new mobiles, including the Shift phone, seems to fix this elongated resolution. Now the Pinephone actually does seem to be going in regards of the same old standard like the LG V20, where you have this fitting for the screen. and it has a lower resolution than the LG V20, which I don't actually, I don't think it's a bad thing actually, because the resolution on a small screen like this is just, huge anyway. So I think it's good to just keep it low on resolution and then let, so there's more processor power for other things. Yeah, well, I have found a version here that is called 990, but again, the difference, I don't know. There's you have the 4G LTE, but it doesn't really say how much in regards of, which probably would be the only. Oh, we have we can versus the LTE. Well, no. See if they don't have other models to search for LG V20. Again, I guess it doesn't matter much. Well, I guess it does matter a little if you wanna. Well, it doesn't really. It just say LG V20 dual. Again, I don't know. Again, the difference between. I haven't seen it for paying for it without a DS or N or whatever. Maybe that's the, maybe no H990. Well, maybe this one is actually yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go to, this is from the NX something. So again, I don't know. I haven't compared that model compared to the two others. But at least the two models, the N and the DS, I have compared, and the DS apparently has one advantage over the other one. So if you wanna, go for the DS, I would go. If you wanna pay more, because again, other models are way more cheap. The DS and the N model is more expensive. But for the price of the screen for the Shift 6MQ, you can get a whole mobile in regards to the LG V20. And that's with a screen that doesn't break, so easily. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it would be hard to really figure out what is the difference. Camera probably would be the same. Supported. Well, it does networks, GSM, ASPA, and LTE. Well, again, it doesn't really say how fast, again, and that's the difference we had on the other two. So, it's, yeah, I know. It went pretty quick as well on the other one with the 4G, and usually I don't use the 4G. But of course, then you also use more of the mobile, so I'm not sure if it's an advantage. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the DS version, that's the one I got now, at least. Not a biggie. There we go. So let's close that down. That was at least the model that I thought, that's the one I'm going to go for. On, I think it was an Amazon or something like that. And again, seemingly going, getting a whole new. It doesn't seem to have been used or anything like that. It does seem to be totally new, The box was a little hit and all that, but, if the box have been, been there for a long time and all that, of course it could get a little punch or any, but everything in the package was as it should, So, that's good. Oh yeah, then there's the last phone, which we had the I looked on the Fairphone tree and that was not totally in my. But then we have the new Fairphone 4, and I saw a video of it. Although, the thing that the designers in regards to when they fix the in the V20 you can still. If you want to have the micro SD card out, you can still get it out without closing down the mobile. Although you have to be a little careful in regards to the battery, because if the battery tops off, the mobile closes down. But it's still possible to do it if you are a little careful. But I really don't understand how these designers are not designing it like the good old days, you know, where sanity was still around, where you could actually just get the memory card from the outside, you know, that you didn't need to take off where the battery is or anything, and the SIM card as well, you know. But apparently in our days, most of the designers, and that includes the new Fairphone, they put them like inside, so you need to have the battery out, and that's both the SIM card and the memory card on the Fairphone 4. You need to do that, and you also need to do that on the Shift phone. And I'm like, why are they designing that? Like, you know, it's like crappy design. You can see, well, maybe you can't. You have them here, right? But usually you have the battery, right? You have to have the battery out before you can actually take the memory out of the Shift phone here and the SIM card. Now, one thing is, you know, you usually don't take the SIM card out, but in regards to the memory card, you know, that would be a nice thing to actually be able to take out. But again, this crappy design again that the Shift phone has done, which pretty much so many others apparently are following as well, where you need to have the battery out to actually be able to get the micro SD card. That's kind of garbage to me, you know. But anyway, garbage design. Don't know why they're doing it like that. Is it too hard to actually make it like for the side or whatever, something where you can just get, you know, is that too hard to design it like that? Or at least do so you can actually, you know, get it out without taking the battery out, if you're a little careful. But nope. I think the Note 2 also, you know, there was a space where you could take it out and in again as well. So anyway, but the Fairphone 4 seems to have, yeah, done that nonsense as well, where you have, apparently they are a 2 SIM card phone, but they only have for 1 SIM card, and then there's another technology or whatever that you can fix. But then you have the SIM card as well, but again, you need to have the battery out. That's just utter nonsense. But anyway, more nonsense as usual. The Fairphone 4 does have changing of battery as well, as far as I could see. You can take the battery in and out and all that, and it had the SD, micro SD. But one thing it didn't have was a jack stick. So if you want to fix the jack stick, you need to run it through an USB 3. So from jack to USB-C, which I'm kind of a little, you know, how many times do I actually use the jack stick and charge the phone at the same time? Well, I have done that, haven't I? Yeah, I have done that. So I don't know in regards of just taking the jack stick and using the USB plug for that, because yeah, I don't know. It's just, I can see you still have the possibility for a jack, you know, that's nice, but you can't charge the device at the same time. That's the problem. So I don't know about that. That's you don't have the 3 essentials in some sense, or at least you need to, at least a little off. Besides that, the Fairphone 4 actually looked pretty nice in regards of replacing items. You can even take the USB-C out of for itself. I can't remember in regards of, but it actually it seemed to be better than the Shift 6 MQ phone in regards of taking things out and in, but I would need to further dig into both of them to sort that out. But it looked really good, I must say, in regards of that, in regards of replacing items. And we have seen that it actually, you know, one of the forces in regards to the 6MQ, where it actually also was winning, besides the 128 megabyte internal memory compared to the Fairphone 3, was the camera. Now, of course, the camera doesn't work, one of them, so it's not really, yeah. But anyway.